When he sat in front of the teacher, the mercy expanded more. And by the time the child had read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the Tasmiyah Sharif, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy had expanded to the extent where we cannot imagine it. This child then came home. Now, you know, about dreams, Rasulullah has said that dreams are a 70th part of his prophecy. According to one narration, it is 17th part. According to one narration, it is the 40th part. But it is a part of his prophecy. So we have some dreams that are beneficial, some that are not beneficial. Some dreams are the fact that you've just eaten a lot, bruv, and you've just gone to sleep. You know what I mean? You've just had a big feed and you've gone to sleep and you're just imagining things now. Right? So, one of the scholars of that time, the ulama, they had a dream in which the deceased, that man who had died, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy had expanded and fallen upon that individual in the grave. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had lifted the punishment from that individual, and that individual's grave had now become from amongst the gardens of the blissful Jannah.
Subhanallah.
And it is asked why? Why has the punishment all of a sudden been lifted? The angels then replied that this man's son today said about Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim.
Subhanallah.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy expanded upon the father of that little child. So this is the, subhanallah, the mercy that falls upon our parents. What's going to fall upon you? What's going to happen to you? So think about those little children who go to madrasa. Look at the khair that they're surrounded by. They may have slots coming out their nose, wax coming out their ears, and they must be stinking. You know, they must be smelling hard. But the khair that surrounds them, Allahu Akbar Kabira, beyond our imagination. How long do we have, brother, by the way?
10-15 minutes.
Is that 10-15 minutes together or just 10 minutes?
5 minutes.
What time does Maghrib come?
8:41.
8:41. Now, the etiquette of learning the deen, should be as such. Number one, from the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. Fear Allah, our conscious awareness of Allah, and Allah will teach you. What does this mean? It means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring about ways and means for you to be taught. Because you have a conscious awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to do the right thing all the time by Allah. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهُ. The Quran says this. Sahih? The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, the hadith which can be found in the Sahihatain and Al-Bukhari wal Muslim, in the meaning of the hadith, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends goodness for an individual, then Allah will give that individual a good understanding of the deen. So if Allah has intended good for you, He will give you a good understanding of the deen. Meaning, the rules and regulations of the deen, the fiqh of the deen that we all need to learn will be correct. It won't be wishy-washy. It's not going to be muddled up or clouded. You know, for example, I give you just an example. If you have just made wudu, sahih, and you put on kuf, leather socks, sahih. Now if you're traveling, you're allowed to wear them for 72 hours, sahih. Or you're allowed to, and if you're not traveling for 24 hours, you can wear them. And every time, if you need to repeat your wudu after that, then all you do is masa, just wipe the kuf. You don't need to stick your foot under the tap and start washing your leather sock. You just wet your hand and you do masa. You wipe the front. Sahih? That is masa of the sock, wiping of the socks. If you take that kuf off, that leather sock off, then the wudu you do after that, you will have to wash your feet because you've taken the sock off. Straightforward. Now, if you made wudu, put the leather sock on, and then you took it off, but then you thought, I've not farted. Excuse me, I've not passed the wind. Yeah? Or I've not started to bleed, that, and you know, it's not flowed, let alone show up. It's not flowed. Or I did not fall asleep, even for 1 second. I did not do anything that has invalidated my wudu. So I'm just going to put the sock back on again because I feel like it. Without washing my foot. No! You don't do that. That is following your emotion. That is following your whims and your desires. You're trying to make the deen wishy-washy for yourself.